me get this. So, okay. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. It's your man, Fat Man Buddha, and we are back. And we are going to be hitting everything as hard as we can. Today's video is kind of off-putting. I really did not want to do this video. It's taken extremely long to get to. YouTube saw fit to ban me for 2 weeks for something that I didn't even know was a violation. They said that I was promoting bodily harm or something like that, but yet and still you can click on YouTube and you can see people get shot 24/7. But then again, I did have a Klansman hanging. So I guess if you promoting violence against white people, they have to stop it. But black on black crime, they heavily endorse it so they can keep up the illusion. Lord knows.
It's like, how much of your soul do you want to sell? Do you want to sell your soul? How much of these ad dollars you want? How many clicks do you need? Come on, I need that AdSense. I need that AdSense.
99% of everyone on YouTube, dog.
So, and low key, I just didn't want to do this video. I really didn't want to do this video because it just seemed kind of, how can I put this? It seemed kind of asinine to me, kind of backwards. Because as you've read from the title of this video is called
To stop racism. You need to stop being racist to white people. Being racist to white people. Dear Americans, stop hating white people.
Yeah. And I think that is kind of funny. I guess I should tell you how all this. So ever since I've been on this whole journey of I guess you can say cultural enlightenment about my own people, because it always struck me kind of strange how people who could spend 700 years building this country is never called an American, and we're always told to go back to where we come from by the very same people who don't even originate in this land. And the more that I kept digging, the more that I found out that, hey, I'm a Native American. And people around America started saying, hey, we're Native Americans. And everybody didn't like that.
Black people is because we don't know who we are.
Say that.
And so, I mean, if you want to be quite frank about it, white people know who we are. That's why they keep kicking us.
Original. That was done in Austria, 1761. The discovery of America.
The discovery of America. Is it all in there?
Nearly.
Isn't that fantastic? Look at that. The discovery of America. I think I'm just going to leave this $10 here on the table, sir. That way it's out of my hands.
Well, relax. Take a minute. Try one of these. Try a few of them, in fact.
Aborigine, which means what? Black folks. You never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
Everybody in America has something to say. We talked to people all over the world, and everybody all over the world said the same thing. Like, yeah, we've been trying to tell you that for generations. Like, you can't go back to Africa because y'all aren't Africans. And I remember when I first heard people say that internationally, like, you're not an African, especially from African people, I always felt some type of way. I always took offense to that. But as I got older and got deep into this cultural knowledge, I realized that they were just trying to be helpful. Like, I'm not an African, I'm a Native American, and there's I guess a significant difference. It's not really that big of a significant difference between us, because we do share a whole bunch of um, cultural links, not just with the Africans or the South Americans, but with the Japanese, the Chinese, the Indostanis. We share culture with everybody except for white people.
Most people, when we say Afro-American, they think only of the Negroes in the United States. But they don't realize that 2/3 of Brazil consists of people of African blood, which means they're also Afro-American because Brazil is in South America. And in all of these, many of these countries in South America and Central America, and even in Canada, they are heavily populated with people whose ancestors came from Africa. So when you total up the number of Afro-Americans, real Afro-Americans, in the Western Hemisphere, there are perhaps 100 million. And if these people ever unite among themselves, not only is it necessary for the Afro-Americans in the United States to be organized, but it's also necessary for the Afro-Americans in the Caribbean, or the Afro-Cubans, the Afro-Brazilians. It's necessary for all of them to be organized. And then once they are organized in each place, we have to organize among ourselves so that the Afro-American in the United States will be working in conjunction in a coordinated program with those who are in Cuba and those in Brazil and those in Venezuela and those throughout the Caribbean and Haiti and in the West Indian Islands. And in this way, we actually get strength. And it's not an accident that there's no organization existing in the Western Hemisphere that's designed toward that end.
Which isn't really that big of a surprise because we're talking about a people who went around stealing ever since they were created. But the biggest pushback really came from my own family, which it really shouldn't surprise anybody, you know, which is why I'm kind of immune to it, the whole woke joke and everything, because my family has been doing that since I was like, I started this when I was like 18. So yeah, I'm very well immune to it. And that's why I said, man, you can't save everybody, but as soon as they see you with a whole lot of money, they gonna ask how you did it. It's amazing, folks. So, yeah, and my whole experience with them has been stop blaming white people. What about black on black crime, Unc? You know white people ain't got nothing to do with that.
If you thought that being white was being smart, then that means that being black is being what? You see, before 1954, we didn't act this way. Being black meant being the best. In every area that we've been allowed to participate in, we've always been the best. So in science, was Imhotep, or Granville Woods, or Lewis Latimer, or George Washington Carver, we're talking about black excellence. If it's in business, we have strong men and women there as well. Reginald Lewis, or John Johnson at Ebony Magazine. In education, Carter G. Woodson, Benjamin Mays, and Mary Petrell. You name the area, we've been good at it. What about in the movies? Who has the greatest box office attraction? Eddie Murphy. What about sports? Who's the best basketball player? Michael Jordan. Who hit more home runs than anybody in baseball, including more than Babe Ruth? Hank Aaron. Whatever the area is, science, business, writing, music, TV, movies, you name the area. All we've ever needed was the opportunity.
Really? So I decided to make this video that I really didn't want to make because I felt like it was a waste of time, but throughout that whole fake holiday of Black History Month, and yes, that is a fake holiday, because when you know that we are literally the only creators in America, then you understand that there's no way you can limit it to a whole month, man. You need to put it as something more significant than that. You need a whole decade.
Riddle me this. Why did they have an Aboriginal Negro write the almanac? Why did they have an NA or a Mexican do it? Why is a Negro writing about America, how things grow here, the stars, the way things work here? Why not the other people? Why do they have one of us writing about America? Because this is our land, and we know this land better than anyone else. That's why we wrote it.
This black man named Charles Page, who was born enslaved, invent and patent the first airplane before the Wright brothers. Well, if he did, then what happened to it? You ain't gonna believe this, y'all.
The way the family tells this story, the idea started with a dragonfly.
The story goes that he would watch those things in flight for hours at a time, and I assume that it's where he got his inspiration to build an airship.
Joseph Page is talking about his grandfather, Charles Page, a farmer and timberman in Pineville, Louisiana. Granddaughter Katie Page Williams heard the same story.
At an early age, I was told that he had this invention, the airship or airplane.
The year was 1903, when Charles Page turned his inspiration from a flying insect into an airship. It was about the same time that the Wright brothers were taking flight with their airplane. Page got a patent for his airship in 1906, before the Wright brothers. But Page's story takes an unusual turn. He planned to enter his airship in a competition for a $100,000 prize at the 1904 Louisiana Purchase Exposition in St. Louis.
He took his life savings, he built a working model, tested it at his home in Pineville, and then shipped it off by train to St. Louis, Missouri, where he was going to fly the airplane in St. Louis, Missouri, and then become a chapter in all of our history books.
But the aircraft never arrived at the World's Fair.
His plane was destroyed or stolen, possibly due to the fact he was an African American.
I think that because he was a black man who had the audacity to try something that had never been done before is probably one of the reasons why the model disappeared and the history was never corrected to show that.
Writer and amateur historian Michael Wynn is trying to rewrite a missing part of aviation history. He's collected newspaper stories, drawings of the airship, and Page's 1906 patent.
Charles Frederick Page's airplane was somewhat primitive compared to the Wright brothers. It did have its own engine for horizontal movement, but it actually relied mainly on balloons and was called an airship.
There is no record of Charles Page ever building another airship, but there is a renewed effort in the city of Pineville to publicly recognize his achievements.
There are things that you didn't talk about back in that day, back at that time, unfortunately.
So fast forward to where we are today. You're anxious to give some recognition to Mr. Page. Why is that?
The issue is making people understand, that this individual, Mr. Page, actually did something that he was never recognized for, and this community was not recognized for because.
You feel me? And then, we're just getting away from the whole notion of black history. Like, it's like when you say the Black Renaissance, or what's another one? The Dark Ages. It's just at this point in time, in the middle of Aquarius, it's just time to leave that shit alone, bro. Like the whole term of calling yourself black. Like if you still calling yourself black in 2024, then I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Now, this is the Confederate flag. It has 13 stars in it. Okay? It has 13 stars in it. And one of them in the bottom right side, this is an ancient what you call Maya here. And it was right there documented in the wall because you see the X, everything is an X. So we identified the X. The X means the unions of all the tribes. So again, this is where they show you in Wakanda, you're doing the hand gestures all here, okay? So it's the unifications of all the tribes that become one, okay? So this is where they get the Confederacy, the Confederate flag from, And now they try to tell you it's about slaves. Let me explain this so you understand. Now look at the way they depicted these people. These are black, big ass people. We was not small. And this is why, like I said before, they have to go to Africa, as they name it. Was never named Africa. They have to go to West Moorish, the west side of Moorish, Mauritanian. They have to get Mauritanian, or that's the different way. There's Berbers, Mauritanian, and there's Moors. So pretty much they have to go in these regions and scout to bring soldiers, because they know the Moors as mercenaries. They are soldiers themselves too. So they have to bring them here to help them go to war with us, because we were no joke, to be exact. So now, this is what you see here. What you see here is us going to war in the Confederate, what you call the Confederacy War. Now, they tell you in their life.
I really don't know what to tell you. I guess I should start organizing this thing a little bit better. So, because I really don't want to do this, but my boss told me to do this video, so we're going to do this video. So, the whole thing of
Stop hating white people.
my question to you is, how? How can we stop blaming white people when there's been so much blood on their hands? Just tell me a time when they weren't killing someone. If you can tell me a time when they weren't killing someone, then I'll stop blaming them. You can't do it, can you? I know you can't. And everybody wants to sit here, and it's so funny because the very same people who tell me to stop blaming white people always want to bring up karma. And I'm like, damn, you can't believe in karma if you want me to stop blaming white people because they have too much karma against them.
Spot where you're sitting, every square foot of ground in this country was stolen from my ancestors. And after you stole it, you murdered them. So you'll forgive us if we do not laugh along. There is nothing funny about the extermination of a people. The theater stinks of blood.
Literally, they have too much against them. So then I was thinking, like, you know, maybe that was too hard for y'all to do, to tell me a time when they weren't killing someone. So then I decided not to put this video out during Black History Month. And still the conversation kept coming up over and over. I even went to Twitch. Just to watch people game, and still the conversation was coming up. And it's just so amazing to me how white people know when they're about to be destroyed. Because I've noticed that too. Isn't it so funny how every time we as a people, the Native Americans and the Africans and the Asians, all of us get on the same page of we don't need white people need to go away type energy. All of a sudden, white people start promoting peace and love.
We just want peace and love! We just want peace and love! We just want peace and love!
Y'all ever notice that? Like, seriously, think about it. When World War I hit and everybody started saying, like, white man needs to disappear, all of a sudden, it's peace and love. World War II, everybody was saying white people need to disappear. All of a sudden, it's peace and love. And as soon as we agreed that, yeah, we can do this whole peace and love thing, they started committing genocide again. It's like they take a long enough break to go out here, oh yeah, everybody, we need peace and love. We won't be able to make it without peace and love. And then we all agree thinking that they are on this whole peace and love tip for real. And then what happens?
The abolition of slavery and the ending of white supremacy were definitely Christians.
I'm talking about children, women, male adults, lynched. And then there's to put us alive on spits with a fire beneath it and turn us and roast us until we dehydrated. And they pick up pieces of the bodies, and hundreds of whites will be standing and taking pictures with a body piece in their hand. They have the pictures, they show the pictures in the book. And they say, just get over that? You don't get over that. You have to move on. You have to live your life. You have to grow. You have to accomplish. You cannot use excuses. But that is in spite of your history.
Chances are, even if you were born, bred, and raised in Mississippi, you have yet to hear the story of 45-year-old Leon Hayes, who allegedly had his head sawed off his body. Full decapitation for his relations with a white woman. Once this report is over, take a second and Google his name. Not one picture will appear. Search his death, and not one truth will appear. Well, we, for the first time, are about to put a face with the name Leon Hayes. Welcome to Crimes Among Us. The year is 1967. Interracial marriage in the United States becomes fully legal, but not all states were so accepting, especially Mississippi. If you have publicly dated outside of your race, you've probably gotten some really ugly stares and the occasional stick to your own kind.
What do you think about black people?
I mean, quite honestly, what happens? They go right back and they start killing people again. That's amazing, isn't it? And here we are again. Here we are again. And white people, once again, all over the world are talking about, oh yeah, well, we're all one people. We're all the human race. We just need peace and love. Especially since they infiltrated the whole spiritual movement that's been going around since. I love the fact that everybody wants to pretend like the spiritual movement started with Rashad Jamal in 2014, but it didn't. The spiritual movement has been around literally since the early 80s. And that's why I say, man, I'm going to keep on putting up Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, Stokely Carmichael, all these people, because y'all are just repeating their words anyway. And very few of you are actually adding to a conversation to make a conversation. And like, especially all you people who just want to promote spirituality just so you can get money. Like, I think that's the funniest thing. Like I told you in the last video, all of you people want to sit here and claim that this movement is a scam. And the only reason there are two people who are complaining about this being a scam, and those are the people who have been in this movement and truly want a spiritual enlightenment so they can stop being angry, because the more you know, the angrier you're going to get. And we're going to get into that in a minute. For all you people who keep on telling me that.
Dear Americans, stop hating white people.
Stop blaming white people. And then there are those who come to this to get money out of this. Like, why would you might as well be a preacher opening up a church just so you can get paid. You don't even believe in the word of God. You just want to use the word of God to get paid. and you don't even believe in it. So here I am at this crossroad, and how can I say this? Like, karma, bitch. You're gonna get what you deserve in the end. Like, it don't matter. It really don't. Because you're coming over here and you just want to make a whole lot of money off of people who don't really have it to give.
Turned over a new leaf.
Man, you turn over my nuts on your chin,
Bro.
motherfucker.
Like, instead of sitting here helping people, you want to give them 10% of something that you stole, and then tell them for the other 40%, they need to give you an additional $50 just so they could be a part of something that should never be sold. And I keep on telling y'all, I told y'all in the last video, everybody who sits here selling the word of God, we're putting them in jail. We are literally putting everyone who's selling the word of God in jail. And that goes for the whole woke community too. Because you're selling knowledge that is meant for growth and peace. So we're going to put you in jail. Because why are you doing that? Honestly, why are you doing that? So, but stop blaming white people. That's what we're on right now. Stop blaming white people. And the reason why I think that it's hilarious that everybody is telling me to stop blaming white people is because I feel like everybody, especially white people, they understand that white people aren't going to make it. White people are not going to make it because look at everything they've done. And look at how they always try to avoid having a conversation about retribution. And look at how everybody has been sucked into the mentality of defending white people. You can't even defend them anymore. How can you defend? It's just more or less, how can you defend them? And you can't. You literally can't. You can't bring up anything that white people have done to justify them still being here. And a lot of people are talking about, oh, well, you know, white people are finally waking up to the truth. You know, white people are becoming more spiritual. It's too late for that. It's too late for all of that. Don't forget they were spiritual when they were hanging your children. They were spiritual when they were raping your women. They were spiritual when they were eating you. You think this spirit eating has been going on with the Hollywood people? You have to think, like, man, that started on the ground. Picnics. All of you who know the truth about picnics, you know, like, they would pick someone to capture and they would eat them. Like, I'm never gonna stop telling you people that these white people that you want to defend so much, they practice cannibalism. Literally, they have been practicing cannibalism since they invaded our land.
He writes that when Black Americans describe instances of cannibalism, they tried to understand why and how they had become so delectable, so erotically appetizing to a nation and white populace that at least rhetorically denied and despised their humanity. Woodard begins, the delectable Negro at the intersection of the transatlantic slave trade and the consumptive appetites of white people. While white cannibalism was widely reported in the accounts of African slaves from the 16th century up through the 19th, previous scholarship largely dismissed the accounts as superstition or unfounded indigenous terrors. Woodard validates Black accounts, offering evidence of punishment rituals, including an instance of a slaveholder forcing slaves to eat the boiled ear of a member of their community.
There was definitely cannibalism happening in the antebellum days. I recommend people checking out this book, The Delectable Negro. I shouldn't have done the chef kiss, but there's a part in the book that talks about the transatlantic slave trade and how white men on the ship would eat the black men on board. They would spend months out at sea and they would overpack the ship with enslaved people, knowing that they would lose cargo. Food had to be rationed, and sometimes they would get hungry enough to eat their cargo. The rumor of cannibalism was kind of quickly dismissed because America had to keep this image that they were a civilized society with all their guns and colonization. So yeah, white people did eat black people, and they try to hide that part of history, just like they threw our babies to the gators, or they had breeding farms all throughout the South.
And they have not stopped at all. They still practice cannibalism. How many white people have to tell you that when their grandparents die and they get all this memorabilia passed down, they have body parts. You know what I'm saying? They have literal body parts. And now all of a sudden everybody wants to get on this whole, oh yeah, well, we need to stick together. The government's the real problem. We've been telling you that. We've been telling white people that the government is the problem since the 1800s. And white people did not care. White people did not care that the government was the problem because the government was a problem for my people. Quite literally.
We tried that already, don't you remember? Do you know one of the largest lawsuits in U.S. history was the USDA discriminating against black farmers? Do you think it's just a coincidence that we own only 1% of farmland today? It's all because of your people. So no, I prefer black homesteaders. Read a history book.
Want to know Chicago's biggest secret? It was founded by a black man. Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, born around 1745, is recognized as the founder of Chicago. Of African and French descent, educated in Paris before becoming a seaman and sailing to New Orleans. In 1779, he left New Orleans for the Chicago River, establishing a settlement at its mouth in the late 18th century, engaging in fur trading and farming. DuSable, known for amicable relationships with native tribes, significantly contributed to the region's early development. Travelers frequently stopped at DuSable's post for fur trade and provisions. Despite facing challenges, including property disputes and being forced off his land stolen by John Kinsey, DuSable died in poverty in 1818 with not a single street named after him in Chicago until 2022. DuSable's legacy endures, symbolizing the multicultural roots of the city and his pioneering role in its history.
Now that the government is becoming a problem for them, all of a sudden it's, oh, we need to stick together. We're all the human race. Do you know how powerful we'll be if we would just come together? If the rednecks and the hood people would just come together? No. No. No, bruh. It's not going to happen this time. It is literally not going to happen this time because we understand that you people will never change. And we have tried literally everything. We've tried feeding you. We've tried teaching you medicine. We've tried to sit here and we've slept with you people. We've taught you people religion, spirituality. We taught you people crystals. We taught you people how to grow food. We taught you people how to make clothes. We've taught you people everything. And all you people do is steal and kill, and you silently approve of a genocide. But now that that genocide is spilling over into your faction, and you know you're not going to survive it, all of a sudden it's peace and love. We need to raise the vibration. No, fuck y'all. Fuck the vibration. And that's how I really feel. If raising the vibration means that white people make it, then fuck raising the vibration. Aren't y'all sick and tired of seeing them? Aren't you sick and tired of them stealing your ideas and claiming that it's theirs? Aren't you sick and tired of them stealing your culture and claiming that it's theirs?
Whitewashed paintings of Aboriginal Americans.
What about this one? What if I told you that the Spartans were black? So if you know about the Hellenistic age, there was the wars that went on. There was a group of fearless fighters called the Spartans. If you remember the movie 300, 300 was a biography about the Spartans, but they didn't look like Gerard Butler. Because as you can see right here, the whitewashing began, where they literally start bleaching walls to change the pigmentation of the Spartans.
Hi, I'm back. I know a lot of you may be still experiencing some cognitive dissonance to the fact, but this is why you have cognitive dissonance in hearing new information. Let's take a look here. If you haven't seen my previous video that goes into greater detail, please take some time to look at it. But we're going to get into, again, one of the sons of King Charles. As you can see here, you have the manuscript itself. In the last sentence, it says, he is a tall black man, capitalize the B and the M, like his father, the king, about 40 years old. But not so fast. Look what is on Wikipedia. On Wikipedia, it says a tall, black-haired man, like his father, the king. Who gives a shh about somebody's hair color? And at the same time, this is where they do the hijack. They are citing John.
Continuously reinforcing this narrative as if social work was founded by these white women who were these great heroes, and and reinforcing that to new students. It really felt like we were really furthering white supremacy, and not incorporating the voices of BIPOC communities that, again, have been resilient, have endured. They didn't get Nobel Peace Prizes for it. They didn't get recognition for it. And so that really fueled the passion to write something that would challenge history, challenge social work history, to revise how we view it and stop perpetuating the same narrative over and over again, as if BIPOC communities were these receivers and these white sacrificers came in and helped us. And now we have social work, right?
There is nothing wrong with white people wearing dreads. 3, 2, 1.
The Vikings had him.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. You ain't causing no harm to me or nobody else. It's life, live it.
As long as there are black people living and breathing on this earth, still suffering from the effects of y'all's white ancestors, not able to get locks, I will never be okay with white people having locks.
If you're white, you can dread your hair. That's pretty cool to be honest. That's pretty cool. And I'm not even gonna lie. When I was younger, I used to pull my hair straight, so I can't even talk.
You're all missing the point. We're not talking about cultural appropriation from back in the day. We're talking about cultural appropriation from modern day.
I'm half white. I got dreads. My biggest inspiration was Bob Marley. He's half white. He's got dreads.
Hey, bruh, we gotta get our change up. Remember me from day one? I ain't never change up. Took what I earned, I ain't had to have the same cut. Splashing on your bitch when I'm trippy, got my wave up. She only 150 for that quickie, get that face up. That's why I never help a whore, keep her bills paid up. Oh, you want that fame, huh? Oh, around your neck, you want a chain. Sell your soul and need pills for that pain, huh? And be them day ones. They been hating so long, now they want to show you love.
But at the same time, they steal your culture. They steady demonize you for that culture. Isn't it so funny that it's only people who are getting paid by these crackers that say that we need to stop blaming them? I literally made a post on Facebook about how Tartaria, it makes more sense for Tartaria to be completely melanated than anything else in this world. And immediately crackers jumped all over that post. Oh my God. So you guys are going to claim that you're the Tartarians too? What else are you going to steal? Really? Really? And as soon as I brought up the fact that these people still make movies about Egypt with white people in it, guess what the fuck they said? Oh, my brother, you need to stop focusing on the physical. You need to raise your vibration and leave this world behind so you can claim your spiritual right in heaven, man. Fuck these crackers. Fuck these crackers, man. I can't do it. That's why I didn't want to make this damn video, because fuck these crackers. Because no one can justify their existence, not even them.
So I am going to look straight in the camera and say that abolitionist movements were not started by white Christians. Though white Christians were there in the beginning. I'm going to say it was people who were engaged in the Enlightenment, part of the Enlightenment philosophical movement that was happening in the 16th and 17th centuries. The Enlightenment folks were the ones who were going like, wait a second, there's a problem here on many fronts, not just with slavery. And so the whole concept of white supremacy was starting to be questioned during that time, and other parts of empire building and being able to earn a living, capital, all of those ideas were being questioned by the Enlightenment philosophers. But who really started making an impact here in the United States regarding
black government, actually, in my perspective. Perhaps the only president who ever challenged them was Jacob Zuma, and that could be a reason for him being so villainized. So, I mean, we have de Kock and all these murderers and all these dreadful apartheid leaders still being treated like royals in our society because we're engaging as unequal partners as black people and white people in this country. And I'm ashamed to say that some people on social media are saying, Kim, you're helping to liberate us. And I want to cry because I say, you know what, I'm the oppressor. As long as I hold onto my ill-gotten wealth and land, I'm the oppressor. I've got nothing, a white person has got nothing to do with a black struggle. We are just creating and reinforcing an oppressive, structurally racist system. We see land returned unconditionally in this country and ill-gotten wealth returned. I do not believe that reconciliation is something that we should value. In fact, as I said earlier in the interview, it's delaying black liberation. And I used to think, why, maybe there was just a compromise and it was done on naivety of the ANC. But my perspective now is it was deliberate. The objective was to keep white power intact in a post-democratic South Africa. The truth is that we are living in a lie. The Rainbow Nation is a white man's medicine. It's constructed to delay black liberation in this country, and yet we are intoxicated with these with this war cry of reconciliation. We must stop. One of the
Because it took, literally, it took for them to be homeless, jobless, and starving. For them to sit here and say that we were right the whole time. Why now? Why now? Why couldn't you say all this when we were preparing to take equal partnership in the economic success of America again? Why now? And everything these crackers have been doing has been for their own self-destruction. These crackers just got done getting rid of affirmative action. And these crackers actually celebrated the fact that affirmative action wasn't here anymore. We never used affirmative action because affirmative action never worked for us. It never worked for us. But watch when we get our land, get our reparations, and we have the ability to hire people. Watch how many of our own people don't hire them. Because it's too many of our people to feed. And we're not going to have enough space for them. And the first thing they're going to say
to stop racism. You need to stop being racist to white people.
Is that that's a racial injustice. You got rid of all the racial injustice laws. So there is no more racial injustice. I'm just looking out for my people. And I can hear all the white people now, but what if we had did that? You did do that. Remember? You did do that. And that's so funny how that's the first thing white people want to say, like children. But what if we had did that to you? But you did. They literally ignore 500 years of terrorism. They literally ignore 500 years of terrorism simply so they don't have to answer for anything. And then they want us to forget. No, man, I'm not going to let y'all forget. Because that's how we keep on ending up in this situation with them being around, bruh. People sit here and talk about peace and love and everything. But what about before all this peace and love bullshit came out? What about the fucking Gualaguichi Wars?
Alright, here's part 2. Okay, like I said before, Spain owned Florida for hundreds of years. And under a few conditions, runaway slaves were able to seek asylum in Florida. Spain even provided weapons to help the revolution. This is Fort Mose, the first permanent black settlement in North America. It's like Jamestown for black folk, you dig? Now let's talk about the actual fighting. So the Gullah Geechee and the Seminoles have been a problem for the US military since the George Washington administration. At one point, Andrew Jackson took it upon himself to move into Florida with the military and try to clear out the area of the Gullah Geechee and the Seminole. The Gullah Geechee and the Seminole were wreaking havoc for over 100 years. At one point, 25 major sugar plantations were burned to the ground. This scared the hell out of plantation owners in the South, and this is why they kept slaves illiterate. During the Second Seminole War, the US military lost 1,500 men and spent over $20 million to try to stop them. Yo, like and comment and let me know if you want more videos on this subject.
What about the Haitian Wars? What about the Seminoles? What about the Sioux? What about the Choctaws, the Cherokees?
Alright, I'm on my man Nick Pinson page. Y'all subscribe to Nick Pinson on YouTube. Wonderful channel. Alright. Now Nick, what they have now?
Now they did have missionaries, so don't act like I'm trying to say that they had no idea about this stuff. They did have missionaries that went out there and tried to go look, and surveyors that surveyed and stuff like that. That's how they learned information about us. Those missionaries, those same Bible thumping people that come out here, the Jehovah's Witness and people like that come out to your door. That's what they had.
Facts.
You know, those same people was doing the same thing back then. Okay. And you look at it, and then they started putting the western border over here.
All right, now, by the way, the video is called Maps Prove We Are Indigenous. All right, so y'all check it out. Great video. Let's rock.
As if they really had it, but it's still Creek and Cherokee land. So how the hell is they? You see what they was doing? They just went and worked around us, and they did what they could do, and they took what they could take. Then they finally started impeding back on us in 1803. Then you got them. That's basically because they was fighting that war from 1803 to 1805. It was just blue, and then it went back to white. Let me go back to the previous. Sorry, man. My computer. I need to get a mouse pad, man. My mouse pad.
Me too.
Don't
Me
have
too.
one. But
Me
you see
neither.
this right
I ain't got one either.
here. They basically just was in this area fighting. That's all that really was, and then they took it. You know. And then they started sectioning it off in 1807.
Give me 1 second. All right, we're back. A little technical difficulties. All right, let's get it, Nick.
Some more in 1809. Some more in 1811. Some more in 1812. And this is when they got to 1818, when they started going down there. If you look at all these little areas down here, this is when they decided to make their push to fight these areas. These areas was not taken by them, because if you look at the documentation, you see the wars that they was fighting. They was fighting between the Seminoles and everything. And at the same time, remember now, we just passed the War of 1812. Remember that now, when they supposed been having a civil war with the British. Now that's something that I want y'all to look into too, man. When y'all get a little chance, look at the War of 1812, because the national anthem is something that I had made a little SoundCloud video that I had put out about that. But you got to look into it, man, because the War of 1812, they try to say that they had Canadians fighting against Americans in the War of 1812, but yet they teach it to you that it was the British and Americans. And then if you look at the war, you see that Napoleon was actually at war with his own people over there in Britain. So they didn't have the real time, resources, or access to fight a war over here in America, because they.
Not to mention, Nick, the great cataclysm when the comet of 1811 and 1812 hit caused just all kind of massive destruction all across North America. All right, the Madrid earthquakes. All right, fissures, which is how mud flood is created. All right, and so you see how it's easy to debunk their narrative, just sometimes with basic common sense. But you see the push. All right, where we at 1808. This is still Cherokee land. So as it would seems as they were faking these world fairs and setting up learning centers, because that's all they were. And we're gonna see that. They was lynching, taking the land by what? Evilness. That's how they took it.
People don't want to sit here and talk about all that peace that came after we were started killing them and started pushing them back. People literally don't want to talk about that, and that's amazing to me, bro. And I keep thinking to myself, why don't you people want to talk about all the times that we won? But you immediately want to talk about peace and love. These people love to bring up black on black crime, but as soon as you start bringing up the fact that how they used to make postcards out of lynching us, they would take pictures of them lynching us and make postcards out of it and send it to their family. And as soon as you bring it up, oh, my brother, you need to be focused more on peace and love. Really? That's why I say, folks, man, I hope I hope the sun Kachina comes sooner rather than later. Because These crackers want to sit here and talk about raising the vibration. But yet and still during the whole month of February, how racist did it get? How racist did it get? They were literally making songs about killing us again. But raise the vibration. And if one of my people would have brought that up, all of a sudden we're the ones being racist. But you're the ones doing it though. Seriously. I saw someone on Twitch talk about, oh, black people can be racist. I told him, black people can't be racist. We can only be prejudiced. And she's going to sit here and tell me, no, black people can be racist because we have the numbers to be racist. That made no sense whatsoever. She was trying to say that racism comes from numbers. But how many all-white schools have we blew up?
Creep on in, on in, on in.
How many all-white hospitals have we blown up? How many all-white churches have we thrown sticks of dynamite in? How many times have we denied these crackers entry into a job that we control? How many times have we denied these crackers housing in a neighborhood we control?
Redlining is a discriminatory practice involving denying financial services or opportunities to specific neighborhoods, usually based on racial or ethnic makeup. It is a form of systematic racism that has long-lasting effects on communities and individuals. Redlining has plagued our society for decades. It is time to put an end to this unjust system that denies communities of color access to fair housing and economic opportunities. By redrawing the lines and providing equal resources, we can create a more inclusive society where everyone has a chance to thrive. It is our moral obligation to fight against redlining and ensure justice for all.
How many times have we created a disease and infected them with the disease and sent them back to their neighborhood so they can spread that disease in hopes of killing them?
Quick Black History. In 1932, the Tuskegee experiment was established. The program deceptively enrolled 600 black men into a syphilis study under the pretenses of free health care by the Public Health Service. Even after penicillin became available in 1947, it was withheld using placebos instead. This led to numerous deaths, and the experiment ran until 1972, profoundly damaging the trust of the black community towards doctors, health services, and vaccines. The aftermath led to congressional hearings and a $10 million settlement. Follow for more.
That's what people don't want to talk about anymore. Real racism is terrorism. But stop blaming white people. It's the end of the world. And all of a sudden, everybody wants to say, stop blaming white people for what? For what? I mean, really sit back here and think about that. And the first thing all you house niggas and crackers are going to say is, oh, well, the past is the past. Bitch, we're talking about 2015, 2019. Did y'all forget Trayvon Martin? How many people how many crackers made memes out of Trayvon Martin's death? How many crackers were going around holding up Skittles and taking pictures? and hoodies. They literally made a joke out of a child's death. But that's in the past, though. Y'all forget Tamir Rice? Y'all want to forget so much recent shit and let the past be the past. But why would you, but every time you want to have an adult conversation about how we need to get away from these people and just do our own thing, all of a sudden, the first thing they say is we won't survive because of black on black crime. So they won't let black on black crime be in the past. But they want to tell you that them mocking the death of Tamir Rice and Trayvon Martin, that is what needs to be put in the past. That's amazing to me that so many people actually go along with it. It's not amazing that these crackers say it. It's amazing how many of you house niggas go along with it. Aren't y'all tired of that? Aren't you people tired of them telling you to put pain in the past while they continue to commit that pain? Aren't y'all tired of it? Y'all can't be tired of it. Y'all can't be tired of it because look at how you approve of it. Stop blaming white people. How can you stop blaming white people? You want to stop blaming white people because now white people are suffering economically. Who gives a fuck? It hasn't even been a whole fucking year of them suffering economically. And y'all want to sit here and act like their pain equates to ours. How? How many children have they lost by our hands? None. How many churches have been destroyed by our hands? None. These motherfuckers still go around doing Ku Klux Klan parades. But let the past be the past for what when they're not? So I'm asking someone out there, justify why I should stop blaming white people and put the past in the past. And the first thing these crackers are going to say, these crackers in these house niggas are going to say is, oh, well, if you had a job, you wouldn't be on it so hard. You sure? Because like I said, I've always been like this, and I've always been a truck driver. So are you sure? Because it really just seems to me like y'all just don't want to have this conversation. It really just seems to me like y'all don't want to have this conversation. And pretty soon, none of y'all are going to have jobs. That's amazing, isn't it? That is simply amazing. Why do you want to let the past be the past? Again, they sat here and they mocked the child's death. They turned your children's death into a fucking meme. And these were teachers. These were police officers. These were firefighters. These were doctors and nurses. And what could we do? What could we do? Did we riot in the street? Did we kill every cracker that was doing it? No. We've done the only thing that we could do, and that's move on. But I'm sick and tired of moving on, man. I'm fucking sick and tired of moving on because this disease needs to be stopped. It is the end of the world. And it really does seem like God is coming back. Doesn't it? It really does seem like God is coming back. And the closer we get to the end of the world, the more these crackers want to sit here and pretend like it's always been kumbaya between us. Why? Why not keep that same energy that you had when you sat here and you made a meme out of a child's death? Why not have that same energy that you had when you mocked everybody's death, man? It's so many. Remember how they used to mock Sandra Bland's death? I'm surprised they're not mocking Rashad Jamal right now. They probably are, and it's just not been discovered yet. I promise you there's a Discord or a Telegram out there somewhere. Because that's the only place these racists feel safe nowadays. And think about all the fucking white people who claim that they're not racist, who don't expose these groups. But let the past be the past for what? We can't even have a safe space where we can just talk with each other without them being involved in something. There's always got to be that one house nigga in the group that invites all these fucking white people with them. For what? Do you not understand the importance of us having our own space? And as soon as you ask them that question, well, I don't want to be racist, well then don't come to the fucking barbecue. If you know that we don't want white people here, don't bring white people here. And that's why I said, man, fuck raising the vibration. Fuck raising the vibration. Until these crackers are dead, fuck raising the vibration. Because they should not exist anymore, man. They really shouldn't. Like, where is there a greater hell than where I am right now? There is none, bruh. You can't think of a greater hell than where my people are right now. Here we are in the midst of a fucking genocide. And the only way that these demons are saying that we need to stop the genocide is when it's spilling over to their children. Meanwhile, my people are so blind, deaf, and dumb and backwards. They sit here and try to defend the very people that are killing them and their children. These crackers aren't saying anything new. I've said it before and I say it again. Stop giving the devil credit for telling the truth. Stop giving the devil credit for telling the fucking truth. These crackers sit here and talk about how it's more white people on welfare than it is my people. We've been telling them that. And they've been denying it. And they've been making jokes about it. And now all of a sudden, at the end of the world, they want to tell the truth. Who cares? These crackers want to sit here and tell us that there are more of our women dying during childbirth than theirs. We've been telling them that. But at the end of the world, they want to tell the truth. Who cares? Literally, who cares? These crackers could disappear tomorrow, and the question is, who cares? No one. No one will care. This world will be a better place without them. At least we can start getting back to normal. At least we can stop pretending like we're not in pain anymore. Aren't y'all tired of pretending like you're not in pain? Aren't you tired of pretending like this insanity was actually started by us? It was never started by us. All this black on black crime didn't start till 1989, literally. Literally. Because in 1989, that's when we lost the last of our fucking neighborhoods. And we were forced into a damn apartment building. And ever since then, black on black crime has just been exploded all over America because there's not enough resources. And everybody who knew who the real enemy was either got assassinated or got put in jail. And the first thing these crackers want to say when we start talking like this is, well, think about what Martin Luther King would have wanted. You killed him, remember? You killed him as soon as he started saying that he made a mistake asking for integration. As soon as he said that I've made a mistake asking for integration, you killed him. He finally understood that we never needed to be integrated with you. And you killed him. So I don't want to hear that, bro. No. No. Stop blaming white people. I can't stop blaming white people. How can I stop blaming white people when they used to actually sit here and make songs about our death? How? They've stolen everything. I'm waiting for someone to tell me, when have these people stopped killing? When? You can't name it, can you? You can't. Whether it be in America or worldwide, you can't name a time when these crackers stopped killing. The only time you can name is right now. And the only reason why they stopped killing is because they want to act like they are the peacemakers in this world. Isn't that funny? They spent almost 1,300 years on a genocide. And now, when their people are dying, they want to stop the genocide. Let's not forget that Planned Parenthood started with the intention to convince our women to have abortions. Let's not forget that. And this is why I did not want to make this video, because there's no justification for anything. There's no justification for their existence. For me to stop blaming white people, you have to justify their existence. And for you to justify their existence, you have to name a time they were a benefit to the world. You have to name a time when they were a benefit to the world. And you can't. My people are the only people in the world with Stockholm Syndrome. Because when it comes to being attacked, we are the only ones who have never stopped being attacked on a 24-hour level. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 12 months a year, 10 years a decade. We have never stopped being attacked. And now at the end of the world, these white people want to say, well, we were wrong, but we won't rectify anything. We won't fix anything. You never cared about anything other than yourselves. And no one can tell me different. Like I said, you know that it's the end of the world when these crackers are pleading for mercy on a Twitch stream. These crackers are literally pleading for mercy on a Twitch stream, saying the same shit. Well, if we all just realize that the government is the real problem and that we're all one race, the human race, the world will be better. And people were actually sitting here trying to agree with it. I wouldn't let them do that shit. I wouldn't let them forget a motherfucking thing. You know what I said? I said, when my people tried to tell y'all that back in the 17 and 1800s, you blew up our schools, you lynched us on a 24-hour basis, you destroyed our businesses, you raped our women, you kidnapped our children. And then everybody got quiet after that. Everybody got quiet after that. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Everybody was just dick riding this cracker when he said that we're all the human race. But as soon as I bring up how they really feel about the human race, you hear crickets. That's a disease, bro. And the first thing people just want to move on and move past it. No. 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 No, bruh. I would rather this world blows up and everyone dies than we all just move on and move past it, because, again, that's how we ended up in this fucking situation. Everybody just wants to shut up and move on and move past it when you still got the murderer in the house. You still have the murderer sitting at the dinner table who just got done killing someone in front of everyone. And all of you want to just keep eating dinner. But you can't. You can't, because now all the portions of dinner that you've been eating are smaller. And pretty soon, all the food's going to be taken off the table. And you know what I notice about hungry people? You motherfuckers get mad and you motherfuckers tell the truth about each other. The hungrier y'all get, the more y'all tell the truth about each other. So I'm finna make sure that y'all starve. I'm finna make sure that y'all don't even have a drop of clean water to drink. Because if I'm tired of it, I know good and well God is tired of it. God said, I do for those that do for themselves. So if you raise your hand against your enemy, God will smite their ass. Because you have no excuse for their existence. No one has any excuse for their existence. Why should white people still be here? Why should white people exist right now? None of you can tell me that. The only thing y'all can do is cry out that I'm being racist. How? How am I being racist for asking a question? And that question is, why do they deserve to exist? But stop blaming white people. These are the same white people that dropped a C4 on an apartment building. And while women and children were running out of that apartment building, police officers surrounded that apartment building and shot everyone who was running outside. It's 2024. And these crackers are still making racist jokes. So you know they will never forget. They will never forget. So why should you forget? Why should I forget when they're still doing it? Everybody wants to be mad at me because I'm pointing out the murderer at the table. But everybody wants to be mad at me while they're still eating food that's covered in blood. Y'all deserve to starve because I want to see what happens when y'all get angry. You really think that Donald Trump's going to fix something? Donald Trump? No. No. Y'all not angry enough for Donald Trump. Like I said, that's the reason why I agreed to let 250,000 UN soldiers here. Because what the fuck has white people done to justify their existence? The closer y'all get to finding out that y'all Native Americans, the more and louder they resist you. The more that y'all sit here and cry out reparations, the louder they deny you. That's how stupid these crackers are. These crackers don't understand that if we get to eat, they still eat. But I'm glad that they're showing you they've never stopped showing you who they are. But y'all can't turn a blind eye to it anymore. Y'all and you love to go along with the narrative to act like we're the ones behind it. Like we're the ones who brought the rope to these crackers and told them to lynch us. Like we're the ones who took our daughters to these crackers and told them to rape her in front of us. No. No. Not everybody wants to be stuck on this whole devil worshiping music and hip hop and rap. And I'm starting to finally realize that none of y'all want to have this conversation because everybody knows the solution to this conversation. And the solution is we have to kill white people. We have to kill white people. We have to get away from white people. That's the only solution that is even possible at this point. And I'm going to make sure of it. I'm going to make damn sure of it. Because throughout this entire thing, white people have been the only problem. And again, people are going to bring up black on black crime. And again, I tell you, that shit didn't start until the last of our neighborhoods disappeared. And now they're coming for your neighborhoods again. They're coming for your neighborhoods again. And they're trying to squeeze you out of another neighborhood. Isn't it funny how now that they're trying to squeeze you out of another neighborhood, all these businesses are closing. Gucci is closing. Louis Vuitton is closing. Forever 21 is closing. All their businesses are closing. Disney is closing. Hollywood been closed. The United States government is closing. Why should they still be here? And I know my boss is going to be mad because this isn't the way that they wanted me to do this video. But man, fuck that shit. I've always just been a straightforward person. And this is as straightforward as I can get. Prove to me that white people have done anything to justify their existence. And don't bring up no recent shit. Don't bring up the fact that they're finally telling the truth. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm not going to give the devil credit for telling the truth when God has been telling the truth the whole time. They will never get credit for that. People are going to try to tell me that I need to be more positive and focus on positive vibes. I can't. I can't. Because the more positive we are, the more we die. So let's try something different. Let's try doing like our ancestors did and kill their ass. That shit got quiet now. Let's try doing like they did and kill them. But y'all don't want to do that shit. Because you have all been convinced about this whole high vibration, love and peace bullshit. But none of you can justify why people deserve to exist. All you can keep saying is love and peace. We got to raise the vibration for a better day. We did that already. We were raising our vibration with Malachi York when he opened up his own city. And they burnt that city to the ground. Remember that? We were raising our vibration with Malcolm X when he said that we need to form our own government. And they assassinated him. So now there are no more spiritual leaders. Now there are no more governmental leaders. Now there are only the warlords who are bloodthirsty. And now nobody really is hearing all this love and peace shit. Because I'm not going to allow it. I'm going to make you starve so you can be mad. I'm going to make you starve so you can start telling the truth. And the first thing that everyone's going to say, well, it's not white people's fault. It's the government's fault. Who the fuck is in government right now? These crackers want to latch on to Barack Obama so fucking bad. All because Barack Obama legalized gay marriage. Who gives a fuck? Literally, who gives a fuck? What happened to the president? What about the white president that agreed to redlining? You all remember redlining, don't you? Of course you don't. Because you want to put your fucking head in the sand. Redlining is when these crackers would raise the price on your rent and force you to move to a poor district. And as soon as you went to that poor district and built that poor district up to a profit, these crackers would move in on that fucking district and move you out again. What about that? What about the president that said that it was okay to steal from black banks? Remember that fucking white president that did that? Of course you don't. Even though that shit happened in 1928. That fucking president stole $32 billion out of black banks. White people had nothing to say about that then. Remember the Jim Crow laws? Remember the Willie Lynch laws? Remember the apartheid laws? All that came from a white government and a white president, but these crackers want you to focus on Barack Obama, and all the fuck he did was approve of gay marriage. Now everybody wants to sit here, oh, well, America's going to hell. Man, fuck y'all. America's been hell. And now that the hell is coming to the sand, now that all that blood has been soaked in the sand and all you can do is see red, Y'all want to focus on Barack Obama. What about the president that approved of lynching? What about the president who started the Ku Klux Klan? What about the president who approved of the Tuskegee experiment when they infected our people with syphilis and AIDS? Y'all want to forget all those presidents, but y'all want to focus on one president because he approved of gay marriage. Who gives a fuck? Who really gives a fuck about gay marriage? Let me ask you something. Has gay marriage affected anybody's pockets? No. Has gay marriage affected where you stay at? No. Has gay marriage affected how many black people got lynched? No. So why the fuck are y'all so worried about Barack Obama approving gay marriage? Who cares about gay marriage? I'm telling y'all, I'm pleading with y'all. Justify these crackers' existence. These are the very same crackers who used to cut babies out of the womb of their mothers and kill the baby in front of their mother. So, how I feel about all this is, you reap what the fuck you sow. The fucking sins of their father is falling on their heads, and fuck raising the vibration. If raising the vibration means that you stupid motherfuckers forgive them again and they escape justice because you all want to put it in the past, let the past be in the past, you want to sit here and you want to forgive and forget, but you still want to allow them to kill you and your children? Man, fuck raising the vibration. The vibration don't need to be raised. The vibration don't deserve to be raised. Because you want to sit here and talk about, oh, we got to do shadow work. We got to do shadow work. Well, then let's do shadow work. Let's do real shadow work and let's talk about how these crackers really are. But see, y'all don't want to do that shit. Y'all don't want to make that part of the truth part of your spiritual journey because, oh, that's too much negative energy. It's always been that way. Like, seriously, it's always been that way. These crackers are losing power all over the world. It is the end of these crackers ruling over people that they should have never ruled over to begin with. But Israel cried out for a king. Israel cried out for a king. So that's gonna be the new wave. People are gonna start saying, stop blaming white people. Because it's the end of the world now. And if there's anybody who needs to be protected at the end of the world, it's white people. Because heaven and hell is coming for these crackers. And you can't tell me different. Everything that these crackers did to you is happening to them in real time. These crackers stole your farmland. And now all their farmland has been stolen. These crackers used to raise the prices on your houses to force you out of your house, and now all of them are being forced out of their house. So tell me something. What do you think is about to happen? Like, in all honesty, what the fuck do you think is about to happen? Do you think that it's just going to stop with them being economically crippled? Or are they going to go through the same thing that they did to you? The whole world is talking about how to end the problem. And the whole world has come up with one agreement. Well, really two agreements. We can either starve them out because there is no food that grows in Europe. So we can starve them out, or we can kill them. Either way, they're going to die. And there's more people leaning on killing them than it is on starving them out. Because what have their existence benefited you? You can't name it. You will never be able to name it. And I do mean you will never be able to name it. Because there has been no fucking benefits. To the world or to you personally, there's been no benefit. And we're going to continue to starve y'all. I'm going to keep saying that shit because it's the motherfucking truth. We're going to continue to starve y'all. Because y'all deserve to be starved. Because you want to sit here at a dinner table with the very people that kill your children. Stop blaming white people. How? How? And you don't even have to be spiritually enlightened or woke to look around you and see that these crackers are still killing y'all. And black on black crime can only do so motherfucking much. Isn't it funny how every time we're about to stop all this black on black crime is a mysterious death? Every time a gang is about to stop a rival with another gang and come to peace terms, both of them get hit the same motherfucking night. Y'all don't think that those are... Come on, man. Stop blaming white people. How? Tell me a time they were a benefit to anyone but themselves. Now they can't even be a benefit to themselves. I keep telling y'all, the closer we get to the end of the world, the more these white people are going to die. They used to eat y'all. They used to use your children as gator baits. They used to make furniture out of your fucking skin. And you want to let the past be the past, be the past. No. Because they have not answered for any of it. And since you all don't want them to answer for any of it, I'm telling y'all, I already told y'all, I would rather see this whole world be destroyed than for you to bring these crackers into heaven. You want to bring the devil into heaven. That's amazing to me, man. It's been Fat Man Buddha. And yes, I am Buddha. And now I'm asking you a very serious question. Prove it. Prove it. Prove that they deserve to exist right now. Prove it. And for all you people who want to sit here and tell me that I'm not God, I never said I was God, bitch. But if I was God, and I was finna judge all these crackers, would I ignore the fact that they used to eat you? Would I ignore the fact that they used to make furniture out of your skin? Would I ignore the fact that they used to use your children as animal bait? You crackers and you house niggas love to bring up God. But when we ask how will God judge everyone, you fall silent. This has been Fat Man Buddha. And yes, I am Buddha. And prove to me without a shadow of a doubt that white people deserve to exist.
So their system is not stopping. And then finally, I want to say that we need one idea. And we're not thinking about a solution to the problem. We're dealing with all these other things, but these are diversions from the solution to the problem. And we have to start to think about a solution to the problem so that these young brothers and sisters who are here now, who are 15, 16, and 17, are not here 25 years later talking about these same problems. Now, how do I know that the white people know that we are going to come up with a solution to the problem? I know it because they have retina scans, they have what they call racial profiling, DNA banks, and they're monitoring our people to try to prevent the one person from coming up with the one idea. And the one idea is how we are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem. Now, I don't care whether you clap or not, but I'm saying to you that we need to solve this problem because they are going to kill us. And I will leave on that. So we have to just set up our own system and stop playing and get very serious and not be diverted.
So not only do you have to free the land and help to liberate the rest of the planet Earth for political power again, you'll have to do it so that all humanity can once again get back on its proper course. And we can live life as it's supposed to be lived. Become more godlike. The object of this knowledge is to be a reflection of yourself in the mirror of history. And when you look in that mirror, you will see God, because each one of us are in the image of the Creator, the Ancient of Days, with the lamb woolly hair and the color of amber. And as Jeremiah said, he looked like the pitch of oven. Each one of us are a reflection. So when we look in the mirror, we see God. God shining forth from us. And if you truly believe in the Creator, then you know that you cannot accept a life other than the highest and the best that you can get out of it.